Hey YouTube, how you doing? Today I'll be reviewing and giving some details and pointers of these two handguns here. Totally different types of handguns. On the right hand side here I have a 25 ACP Phoenix Arms. Pretty nice, inexpensive, reliable. I guess they can be. I've had pretty good luck after my initial range time. Um, Took about, I want to say, a box and a half to kind of break this little handgun in. I'm not sure if it was due to the magazine or just the springs or the mill work with this handgun here. This handgun's constructed out of bimetal. I don't know all the details on that, but from what I've heard, it's not the sturdiest. Definitely heavy. I believe it's 19 ounces or 20 ounces. Um, but overall, for the price point, 169, I don't think you could beat it. Yeah, the ammo 25 ACP is a little bit more on the expensive side, especially nowadays since everybody's crazy about ammo, and we've, as consumers, raised the prices of ammo by the amount of ammo we purchase. But anyhow, nice little handgun. On the left hand side here I have the PW Arms, or let me rephrase that, it's really Radom. PW Arms is the importer, but it's the Radom P-64, and it's a Polish Makarov type ammo for the gun. It's just a handgun. Apparently it's been a Polish service handgun for years, and as a matter of fact, some of the police still there are still issued this. I'm not sure when it's being phased out, or if there's a variance to it, but I know for the most part that it's still in service. This one here happens to be in 1970, and they've made some changes along the way, but pretty subtle changes. For the most part, the handgun stayed intact and is still a blowback type, similar to or identical to what I have here. So let's start with the Phoenix Arm. Okay, Phoenix Arm. Again, I had to run about say 75 rounds to 80 rounds before the handgun was broken in. I'm not sure if it was the spring, the millwork again, maybe even the spring in the magazine. I'm not exactly sure. The bottom line is that it's working flawlessly now, but it didn't so in the beginning. I did have some failure to ejects. No failure to fires really. It was mostly on the eject side, and I think that's due to the spring. The spring is it's flimsy, to be honest. I mean, what do you expect from a handgun at this price point? The good thing is that the springs are readily available on their website, and it so happens to be that this handgun was made in Ontario. It's manufactured in Ontario, which is about 5 minutes away from where I am at. So, not a big deal for me. I could go and purchase those. I believe they're about $10 for 3. So, geez, I'll just buy springs and keep replacing them. Again, for the price point, not a big deal. Anyhow, one thing that I hate about this handgun, I would say, is the amount of safeties that this handgun has. Well, as you can see, we have a safety here, which I actually can't use unless I have the magazine in. There's a safety here, which, to be honest with you, I don't think I've ever used. And it just will not let you pull the slide back without obviously having the magazine in, so I can lower the safety and then pull the slide back. Now what that happens is, if I have a magazine as I have here, which is loaded, I won't be able to put the magazine in, clear it without having another round back into the breech, And now when I take my magazine out, I won't be able to clear the round that it's now in the handgun. Don't understand it anyhow. I know there's some videos on how to disable this. You would have to pull this out, cut the believe there's a small plate here for the safety to be able to lower it. But you know, I'm not gonna do all that. These handguns here have a lifetime warranty. Manufacturer's right around the corner. If I have any issues, I could just go down the street basically and you know, get it replaced or looked at. There have been some issues that I've seen here with the breakdown. It's not the easiest handgun, although it seems to be pretty simple. It's not, just because of the spring placement and how the spring will fly out of this handgun if you don't pay attention while you're breaking it down. Anyhow, but other than that, I mean, for the price point, it's pretty inexpensive, works great, and it serves its purpose. I wouldn't use it as a first line of defense against you know, of defense. The round here is 25 ACP, as we all know. It's or as some people may comment, is underpowered. I mean, I think it's better than nothing. Obviously, I own one. I don't really have it for self-defense. I would much rather rely on my 9 Makarov, 9mm Makarov 9x18. But anyhow, I mean, it's better than nothing. I'm sure that the 9 rounds that fit in the magazine will put some hurt on someone. I would not want to be on the receiving end of this, I'll tell you that. Again, from what I've heard, the penetration on these rounds, any round nose type round, that's about 760 feet per second, and they penetrate about 10 inches, if I'm not mistaken. That's from all the research that I've done. So it's not too bad. I would much rather have a round nose type round as opposed to hollow point. I think it's pointless for this type of ammunition, simply because there's not enough penetration and power behind it. So I would much rather go for you know, vital organs and shot placement. So again, that the Phoenix Arms HP25a, nice little handgun, works great, and it is at a perfect price point. Okay, now let's move on to the P-64 Radom Polish handgun. This is a nice, heavy little all-steel constructed handgun. Definitely has a sharp recoil. I guess that's expected from such a small barrel. The rounds that I've ran through this particular handgun here, I ran some Winchester white box round nose type ammo, and I also ran some of this PPU Siberian ammo. It's 95 grain, or sorry, 93 grain. It's pretty nice and expensive. The ammo that I have not ran through this handgun would be the LVE or the steel type, any of the Wolf, the Brown Bear, any of that ammo I have not ran through this ammo. This handgun, this particular ammo here, the LVE, has it looks oddly colored. Apparently that is copper lining, prevents corrosion, and then it has this sealant that goes through or is around the projectile and the case, and we have it on the primer here. Anyhow, pretty inexpensive. I think I picked up 3 boxes of this. Each box was right under $15. Again, that's a steal nowadays, especially with the ammo craze that is going on, and we as consumers are just inflating all the prices. That's just because we keep purchasing it, and hoarding it away. Anyhow, that's a different issue. Here I have the Hornady custom. It's the XTP 95 grain. I've heard a lot of good reviews on this ammo, on how expansion is and how well it's the weight retention. Yeah, I have this as home defense. Nice ammo here, and probably won't use it until I go to an outdoor range, or I have this ammo here sitting for a while so that I could replace it and just cycle through a new batch. Anyhow, so P-64. Things that I like about it is how accurate it is. I'm surprised on how accurate this handgun is. Some people have commented on that being due to the chrome lined barrel and just the overall fabrication. It's a very well made handgun. The breakdown is pretty simple, similar to that of the Walter PPK, with trigger guard pulls down, pull the slide back, and just bring it apart. Blowback operation type. I won't clear it. I don't have a magazine in there. I'm not putting my hand near the trigger, so I don't think there's a need here. I think that there will calm some people down. Anyhow, so pretty nice little handgun. What I've been doing to this handgun is when I bought it, it had some obvious wear marks. I mean, it's from 1970 and it's been in service, so of course it's gonna have some wear marks. So what I did, I had some inconsistencies with the bluing. I was considering to re-blue it, but I figured that the wear on it actually gave it some personality. I mean, it looked good, so I kept it that way. And the only thing that I've been doing to it periodically is just using some flits, just to kind of polish it off, and I've only been doing that with the slide. As you can see here, it's not in bad shape. It looks good. It's obviously been used, but hey, it's a nice little handgun. Another change that I did was to add some nail polish on the front sight. As you can see there now, it's a lot easier to see and to find your sight picture. Before it was pretty difficult, especially in low light. So now that kind of helped out. I think I did a pretty good job, and it helps out tremendously. So yeah, I would suggest that. Another thing that I have here is an indicator it's a chamber indicator for a round. Obviously, if a round's in there, it'll pop out a bit, and I will not be demonstrating that, but that's what that little pin in there is. It has a European type of mag release down at the bottom. I've added a Hogue grip to it, junior ball, I believe, handball. Pretty nice, and so did I with the Phoenix Arms. Feels nice. Any other changes that I've done? Not really anything else other than cosmetic and the flits that I've used. I've tore this apart, cleaned it completely, lubed it, and just kind of been taking care of it. I also polished the feed ramp on it. It's really not, I really didn't polish it like you're supposed to with any power equipment. What I did is just hand polished it. I think that would be more than enough. Again, I doubt that the feed ramp was ever polished on it, to be honestly, and if somebody at one point relied upon it to survive, I think the polishing that I did will suffice. So anyhow, P-64, nice little handgun, pretty snappy recoil, but overall well constructed. And again, the price point on this one here was not that bad. I believe I purchased this one for $229. Not too bad. I've heard better, but hey, I wanted to get my hands on it after I heard so many good reviews on it. One thing that I will let you viewers know is that there's different variations of it. Basically, the changes were after 1973. This one's a 70. After 1973, they made some changes to the dovetail or dovetailing of the handgun, and also on the hammer, it's pointier. Apparently, those changes were done to help out with the pinching of the slide. If you have big hands, there's a possibility that you'll pinch yourself using this, so be very careful. Again, snappy recoil, and that was about it as far as the changes go with the after or post 1973 Makarov, or sorry, P-64 handguns. Not a Makarov by any means. Don't get those confused. P-64 Polish 9mm by 18, 9 by 18. Okay, well, thank you for watching the video. If you have any questions, post them. Phoenix Arms, good handgun. I'm not too sure if it would be a good first handgun, I would say, just because of the amount of safeties, and I mean, it's not difficult. You'll be able to figure it out. If this was to be your first handgun, I would say go for it. You know, you'll learn as you go, but then it really depends on your level of knowledge with handguns and your experience. P-64 is definitely something that is capable of self-defense, concealed carry type handgun, and it's pretty nice. Again, snappy recoil, but very accurate. Oh, one more thing before I sign off here. This handgun was sighted in, I believe, at 50. Is it 50 meters? I believe it is 50 meters. Yeah, that's pretty far out. I don't think I'll be shooting at anybody at 50 meters. But anyways, just keep that in mind. That means you will definitely have to make some corrections on your aiming. Not too much, but once you dial it in, you're good to go. Definitely you need to take some range time to get used to this. But very accurate once you lined up your your sight picture and how this particular, or your particular P-64 shoots. Pretty consistent. Anyhow, if you have any questions, post them. Hope this video's helped some people. And yeah, thank you.